Happy Mother's Day, Ral.
Thanks, Jack. But it's coming up, isn't it?
It is
coming up
coming
this week. Have you
Bought my present.
Have you bought your present?
I've put my order in. In fact, you were the one who gave me the idea. It's a bloody good idea. Don't say a word because we're going to show up with our presents.
We are. We're going to
on
get
this
the same
episode.
thing. So
Episode.
I've put my order in that I'm sure one of my daughters has ordered it with my credit card, and we're all good to go. But the reason we're talking about Mother's Day is because this time last year we did a podcast episode called Mother of the Year,
of which we are
not. Clearly, it was one of the most viewed episodes, and we got so much great feedback from it. We thought, let's run it again.
Because this episode really does keep it real as mothers.
Yeah. So enjoy, keepers. I want to do a shout out to your mum, Jack. Happy Mother's Day, Linda. Your mum, she's not only a keeper, she is a workhorse. Every time I see photos, she comes to visit you at the farm. Well, it's not child labour. It's the opposite of child labour. You make your parents work so hard.
Look, the ankle bracelets came off just after COVID, but after 7 lockdowns, I made full use of them in their caravan. They were locked here. They couldn't get out of the state.
I know.
So I said, here's a paintbrush, here's a hammer, go your hardest.
Yeah, they were working. Anyway, happy Mother's Day to our mums.
Margaret and Linda, we love you both and you're great keepers.
And all the other mums are out there listening.
Hardest job in the world, Ral.
It is the hardest job in the world. We
most rewarding too.
It is the most rewarding. It's probably the best professional development you can ever get.
It's very true.
Being a parent, I think.
Being a parent, that's true.
Hi, this episode's called Mother of the Year, and I've always had this concept that I actually wanted to start it up as a real award, Mother of the Year, but
a Mother of the Year award.
Yeah, but not for being a good mum.
You're a good mum.
I know, but what I had in mind that people had to submit the funniest thing they've done as a mother.
That's legal. That's sort of not.
That's legal. It's legal because what I found as a mother that you're hard on yourself, and then when you hear other mothers talk about the stupid things they've done with their kids, you just go, "Oh my God, it's not just me.
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone."
And we've all done some pretty shocking things. Mistakes or funny situations. All right, you've got stories, I can tell.
I've got stories.
You've got that twinkle in your eye. Go on.
I've got
what happened
so
to
many
your
stories.
Poor children?
There's a few that feature Alex, my eldest one. So Alex once, I've got 3 quick ones, and they're sort of all related. One was she stood on a flathead fish.
Yeah.
And she had a sore foot for ages,
months.
Well, it was 9 months.
Oh.
And she kept going, I've got a sore foot. And, she used to do ballet and whinge about her foot. Anyway, we went to the doctors and the doctor.
After 9 months.
After 9 months. And the doctor said, we'll do an x-ray. And there was fish bones in her foot.
Stuck in her foot.
And she had to have foot surgery. It wasn't just in there. So she had to have foot surgery.
How old was she?
12. No, 12 or something. Then there was one time she was dancing around. I said she was a ballet, so she was dancing around in her bedroom and she stubbed her toe on a chair and she came out going, oh, my foot's really sore. But I go, what'd you do? And she goes, I stubbed it on the chair. I was like, oh, well, it'll be fine. Anyway, a few days later, she's going, Mum, this is really painful. And every time she sort of hit it, she would cry and I'm going, stand up, and it doesn't seem to be broken.
Do a pirouette.
But there was this black thing on the end of her toe.
Ooh.
And anyway, after this was just 5 days.
Not 9 months.
When she begged.
So there was a learning.
Fine, we'll go to the doctors. So we went to the doctors and the doctor, our GP was going, what does she do? And he goes, it doesn't seem to be broken. And he goes, but what's that black thing on the end, right on the end of her big toe where she stubbed it? I go, I don't know. She won't let me near it. Anyway, so he looked at it. It was gangrene. Her toe had become gangrene. And so he pulled it off, and Alex is in a lot of pain, and he went, I don't know what's caused this. And he went, anyway.
Negligent mother, that's what's caused it.
We'll get her on some antibiotics. And then he went to put a Band-Aid on it, and I hear him go, oh, hang on a minute. He goes, grabs tweezers.
Oh, no.
He pulls out of Alex's toe half a sewing needle. So the sewing needle, with the eye in it, that was in her foot.
In her toe.
In her toe, yes. Like it had gone into the...
So when she had danced around her bedroom, stubbed her toe, she'd actually...
There was a sewing needle was
that
sticking
went
out.
in there.
So I told
Alex,
her
you're
off for not
tough.
keeping her room tidy.
Of course you did. Mother of the Year, you win that award.
No, and then the doctor went, he forgot which end he pulled out, so we had to go to get another x-ray in case the funny bit was in it. And then the other one,
Alex.
when Alex complained about not being able to breathe properly
That's a problem.
about, 12 months. And one night she came in, she goes, Mum, can you please take me to the doctors? I'm having trouble breathing. I remember going, fine, I'll take you to the doctors tomorrow. We'll pay $80 for him to say there's nothing wrong. And as soon as it's the same doctor, as soon as he looked up her nose, he went, oh, I see what the problem is. And I went,
Not another needle.
And I went, gee, Dr. Chris, last time you said that you pulled a needle out of her foot. And she had polyps up her nose and a bent, what's that, sternum or something? Anyway, she had to have nasal surgery.
Jeepers.
Anyway, so there you go.
Mother
Sorry.
of the Year. Oh, no, I think you'd win the award.
Anyway, Alex's therapy's going well.
She's no longer dancing. She can barely breathe. But other than that, she still loves her mother. Well, look, you're not alone. So I've got my own share of balls ups when it comes to being a mother. And, there's no doubt about it. We love our children more than anything in the world. I've traumatised mine around Easter.
Right.
Which is usually a very happy time for children because the Easter bunny comes and they get chocolate.
Yes.
So like most parents, we went to quite a bit of effort with the Easter bunny coming, chopped up carrots and spat them out and made a bit of a mess. So on Easter Sunday morning, I think Maddie was 8, Louis was about 6. I can see them now, tears streaming down their face. Don't come out, Mum, stay where you are. I said, okay, what's going on? I said, the Easter bunny's been, yes, but don't come out. I said, okay. So what happened was they were so upset by the mess the Easter bunny had made because I'm so OCD in the house that they thought if I saw what the Easter bunny had created as far as mess, I would ban him from coming and they'd never get another chocolate in their lives.
So you had created the mess.
I created the mess.
How much were you chewing and spitting out that carrot?
Well, a little bit, and there was a bit of powder around with paw prints and things. But the point was, my husband said, you might want to ease up on the cleaning and talking about how clean the house needs to be and how tidy they need to be. Hasn't hurt them as adults, I might add, but that was probably a bit rough. Another time, we lived in Singapore for a bit. He was on his little bike riding in front of me. I was behind him jogging, and he falls off his bike and so I picked him up. I said, you'll be all right. Oh, I could see cut his little head a tiny little bit, not much.
Yeah.
And we'd sort of just left a sort of shopping centre where the doctor was. So I thought I'll pick him up and take him back just to get it checked in case we need stitches. And there was some roadworks happening. And have you seen that orange sort of plastic stuff they put up, when they're doing roadworks? And it's got sort of holes in it. You could easily put your foot in it and trip over carrying a child and smash their head open really well. So that's what I did to Lewis.
That's what you did. You did?
Yes, so I picked him up, tiny little gash, nothing much, then proceeded to trip and fall on top of him and cut his head open even more. So then it was a serious set of stitches we needed. Left Maddie behind in a shopping centre in Singapore, forgot about her.
Oh.
She was with me 1 minute, then I said, you go over to the bookstore then.
So she was walking, like she wasn't...
Oh, she wasn't a baby. She was maybe 6, 5.
Okay, but you left without her.
Yeah, got all my shopping. Had Lewis, had a helper give me a hand with the shopping. I started marching home and then I thought, oh, hang on.
Was there anything? I think
There was somebody else with me. Hang on, did I have a daughter? Anyway, she found a way home and sort of reminds me regularly about it. A friend of mine, very funny story, friend of mine had her first baby and she was a bit of a zhuzhy friend, so she liked to shop at all the best boutiques in New Zealand. Put the baby in the capsule and off she'd go, and she put the top down in her little sports car. She said, I'm not going to be, defined as some frumpy mother just because I've got a baby. I'm still cool. Swan into the boutique with the baby in the capsule and they'd all go, oh, Margot, the baby's beautiful. Put the baby in the capsule in the change room, tried on a whole heap of glamorous outfits, bought all the glamorous outfits into the car, gets home, hanging up the glamorous outfits, thinking, gee, it's quiet. Oh, shit, the baby. Baby was still in the capsule in the change room.
In the change
room.
room.
Fast asleep. And they didn't even realise it was there.
Oh, God, imagine if they had locked up the
Stop.
shop.
Well, hopefully she would have realised at some point.
Well, you'd think
Anyway, so there we are, Mother of the Year. We could both win awards.
We could all do it. I've got a. I've just thought of another one.
You got another one? Come on,
This
share.
was actually a relatively recent one. So Jess, who's now 20, she was. She went to the doctors, I don't know, about 6 months ago for something, and they tested her for glandular fever.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, and because the doctor said, have you had glandular fever before? She went, no. So she got tested and she gets the results and she goes, well, the good news is I don't have glandular fever.
That is good news.
The bad news is, well, no, not the bad news, because I've already had it before. It's like, oh, when did you have glandular fever? She's, remember when I was in year 10 and I was tired for like about 3 months and you just, and I'd come home really tired and you would go, that's just normal, Jess. Everyone gets tired. And I went, oh, yeah, that did go on for a long time.
Oh, that's too funny. My antidote to everything was either got a sore tummy, drink some water and have a poo.
Drink some water and have a poo.
It fixes everything. And it does in 9 times out of 10.
The kids, Alex and Jess, have reminded me recently of, you know, the little Kinder Surprise things you get. Yeah. Well, apparently, I can't remember this, but apparently I told them that you can only have Kinder Surprises when you're in kinder. And
that's
so
handy. That's clever.
When they were in like, you know, grade 1 and grade 2, like they knew they weren't allowed to get a Kinder Surprise because you're only allowed a Kinder. But then they told me later, I didn't know this, that they didn't realise that till they were about 14. But they said when they were in primary school, like their friends would be in grade 3 and grade 4
having
and eating a
Kinder
Kinder, and her and Alex would go, oh, they're going to get in trouble. They're going to get picked
they're not
up
in Kinder.
they're going to be picked up by the police because they're eating Kinder Surprises and they're not in Kinder.
That's too cute. The fun you can have, the entertainment children give you.
They're so gullible.
They are. But hey, to all the mothers out there, we see you. We feel your pain. We know you've also made mistakes, and if you haven't, you're telling lies.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, the most rewarding job of my life, and one no one could have ever prepared me for, the least paid, of course. But gee, it's taught me a lot. You said before, best professional development.
Yeah.
It's so true, right?
Yeah. And you can't, no one can prepare you for it.
No one prepares you for it.
At all. And I reckon the interesting thing about being a mother is, you know, you're a mother of a 2-year-old and that's the first time you've ever done it. And then all of a sudden you're a mother of a 4-year-old and that's very different. And then you're a mother of a 14-year-old and a mother of a 24-year-old. And then you're a mother of another 4-year-old, but they're different to the other 4-year-old you had. So every step of the way with motherhood, and I'm sure it's with fatherhood as well, with parenting, no one can prepare you for it because it's different.
It is. What's motherhood taught you? What's one thing that comes straight to your mind that motherhood has taught you as a person?
Don't surprise me with questions like this.
While you think about it, because I know you're not an active listener, so you will be thinking of it, what I have learned is empathy. So straight away, as soon as I had a baby, I thought, oh my goodness, this is what my mother has experienced.
Oh, yes. I must admit, there's a saying that says you only realise your parents are right when your kids are disagreeing with you. So there is, like, I think it was like, I've had 2. Like, my mum had 8.
Yes.
Imagine having 8 kids.
My mother had me at 17.
Oh,
Imagine
yes, your mum had you at 17.
having a child as a child. I mean.
And you as a child.
I was an angel. Thank you very much. So empathy. I reckon parents, and especially mothers, maybe I'm being sexist, learn emotional intelligence. You absolutely become more empathetic.
I think you learn to prioritise.
And appreciate others.
Yeah.
You do learn to prioritise. You have to.
I do remember coming back from maternity leave and going back into the corporate office and realising how much time people wasted.
Yes.
Oh, seriously, I would go into meetings and going, okay, so we done? All good? There just seemed to be people wasting time.
Because you became
time was
very
so
aware
precious.
of how little time one has. I coach a lot of working parents, a lot of working mums, and it is generally a very similar conversation we get into, which is I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. When I'm with my children, I feel guilty I'm not working enough or not available enough for work. When I'm at work, I feel guilty because I'm not with my child. Yeah. So we talk about that.
Mother's guilt's real. Like mother's guilt's real.
Totally.
It's like you
totally. Give yourselves a break, mums. Seriously. But I was talking to somebody just recently who is not only a mum of young children, has taken on a massive big role and is doing a PhD.
Right.
She said, I'm at breaking point. I said, I'm not surprised. Why are you such an overachiever? What is the thing that is absolutely keeping you awake at night the most and that is making you the saddest the most? She said, I am missing out on my kids' lives.
Yeah.
I said, let's change that right now.
Yeah.
And she said, but I'm worried about work and career progression. I said, I get that. I said, but you don't have to be there full time. Find a good leader. Find a good culture. Maybe you're in one. Maybe you're assuming you can't work 2 days a week. Maybe you're assuming that's going to set you back. It shouldn't, and it doesn't have to.
Yep.
Ease up. I said, what's the second thing that should go? She said, the PhD. I said, I would have started there. However, that's something potentially you might be able to park or you reprioritise. So, give yourselves a break. Don't try and do everything all at once.
Yeah, and I think, and the reason we decided to do this episode just before Mother's Day is, we hear you, we see you, we've been there, we've done that, we're still there. It doesn't stop. A friend of mine said, you're only as a mother, you're only as happy as your saddest child.
It's very true. Very true.
It doesn't stop, but that's a lot of fun.
It is
a lot of fun.
Great stories too, I might add.
Lots of great stories.
Kinder surprises and Easter bunny trauma.
When I run my storytelling workshops, I often say that your kids give you a lot of good stories.
Yeah, they do.
I do
too.
say don't have kids just for that.
Yes.
Don't have kids
just for good
to have stories.
Well, some of us had no choice. One minute we're, young and gorgeous having a bottle of wine and next thing we're pregnant.
Absolutely. But it is like, there's a lot of talk about mother's guilt, but it's there. But there's no. I think you said before, there's no right or perfect. There's
no perfect.
Only right for you.
There's right
for
you.
So what's right for you?
And don't judge others. Yeah. So some women go and work full time. Go them. If that's working for them, great. If it's not, then do something about it. Other women say no. I'm actually going to spend this time at home. Go you. Good on you. What a great choice to make.
Yeah.
Just do what makes you happy, and remember what you're doing today could well be different to tomorrow, and children grow up real fast.
I actually, when I had Alex, so she was born in early December, I was working full time. Before I had Alex, I was working full time and I was doing my MBA.
Yeah.
And I dropped out of my MBA, I deferred it, and I took maternity leave. And then by about January, so it was only like 6 weeks later, I'm sitting there going, I'm actually really bored because I wasn't working and I wasn't studying.
And you had a good baby.
And Steve said to me, why did you stop doing your MBA? And I go, I just thought I couldn't do it. So I still stayed on maternity leave, but I went back to study.
Yeah, well done.
So
well done.
Because I thought I needed to do something.
To do. I was very similar, not a wonder we're good friends, Ral, in that I had very good babies, very easy. I was very organised and efficient in the house. I had everything sort of done by 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting home thinking, well, now what? I used to breastfeed and vacuum. Bad visualisation, I know.
That is.
But it's like, why would I just sit here breastfeeding when I can see dirt on the floor? And remember, I'm a bit OCD. So I'd breastfeed and vacuum. And my mother caught me one day and she said, that is not a good look, A. B, you should be spending quality time with your child. And C, how are you going to look in a few years' time? I said, stop it. Anyway.
No, you're going to say you should be spending quality time with your vacuum cleaner. No, Jesus, that.
Robo cleaner is what I'm thinking. Okay, so tips and techniques. Happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. But if you are a working mum, we know, we see you, we hear you, we know you do more of the domestic chores at home than anybody else. We also know that you take up 88% of the primary caregiving. That's some research I did. So give yourselves a break. Tip number 1, you do you.
You do you.
Do
what
not
works
judge
for you.
others.
Don't get sucked into the stereotype or what's normal
or what
what's
you
not
think you should be.
normal.
What's on Instagram.
Yes, you do you.
You do you. Tip number 2, if you are struggling and if you are somebody that is trying to figure out whether you should be at home with your children or at work and you are having sleepless nights, you're tearful, then make a change to your life. Either find a new job that supports you, work less, spend more time with the kids, or if you find you're going batty at home with the children, go and get more work or get a job. Don't feel that you need to do something that isn't right for you.
Yeah, and I think the final one, give yourself a break. Both mentally and physically coming up on Mother's Day, give yourself a break. And if you're not a mum, but you know people who are mums, give them a break.
Yeah, support them. Get around them.
Support them.
Get around them.
So what are you doing Mother's Day?
I am in Bali, but I'm not doing what I would normally do in Bali, which is poolside with a nice pina colada.
What are you doing?
I'm supporting my son who's doing the Bali ultramarathon, 55 kilometres.
Oh, my
Up
God.
a bloody mountain.
When you say supporting, what,
Well,
what
I'm
do you
drinking
mean by
cocktails and
that?
laying by the pool until he comes across the finish line.
Oh, no, well, that
I
fair
needed to be
income
there.
That is Mother
Go,
of the
Lewis
Year.
Phillips. I'm so proud of you. 55 kilometres, Bali ultramarathon. What are you doing?
So when you said I needed to be there, you just needed to be there.
I do. Well, I do need to be there. I mean, this is treacherous what he's doing. It's up a mountain, 4 a.m. they start. He's got a headlamp, the whole bit. Anyway, I said to my husband, Richard, I said, you know, do you think I should go? He said, he'd be all right. So I said, oh, Louis, you want me to come? He goes, no, I'll be all right. I'll either fall off the mountain, have a heart attack or snap a leg, but I'll be all right.
Then you booked your flight.
So mother's guilt straight away. I'd rather be
and I
there.
guess, you know what, you'd spend all Mother's Day worrying about
Correct.
him.
I might as well be with him. Exactly right. What are you doing for Mother's Day?
Well, I am actually in New York.
Again?
Again.
Because we've spent
I'm there for a conference and it just coincides that it's Mother's Day.
Awesome.
And I've just finished reading this book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Oh, yes.
And it's about the guy who wrote it. He brought the restaurant 11 Madison Park.
yeah.
He made
Awesome
number one
story.
restaurant in the world in
Pre-COVID.
a few years
Yeah.
ago. Anyway, me and my friend Janine Gardner, who's travelling with me and actually told me to read the book, we are having Mother's Day dinner at 11 Madison Park.
Which was one of the most progressive restaurants that actually made you prepay weeks before you actually turn up, which
Tell
is
me
very
about
smart.
it. It better be bloody good
It's
because
an experience.
with the US conversion to Australian, it is you've got to prepay and there is no refund.
No, you better
it's,
turn up. Don't
pretty
get
much $500 each
right.
for a 6-course
So
vegetarian
I love
meal.
it. Happy Mother's Day to two mothers, Janine and Ral, who won't be anywhere near their family or children on Mother's Day, having a zhuzhi dinner or lunch.
Research
of
about
course.
hospitality.
I love it.
Unreasonable service.
Happy Mother's Day, Ral.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone else. Happy Mother's Day again to our mums, Margaret and Linda, and hope you have a good week and a very relaxing Mother's Day.
Go Keepers.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keelan Ferrari Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.